Do you think it's reasonable to call Peter Dutton divisive and dangerous?
I say again, though, we must lower temperature.
Hypocrite.
That's the pot calling the kettle black. I couldn't believe it when I actually heard that. He needs to look in his own backyard. As I hear from a lot of people, in my own opinion, Anthony Albanese is the worst Prime Minister we have ever had.
That's my style. I hope you've noticed that.
Failed in the voice, that was divisive, and it's pitted one Australian against another Australian.
Yes.
You have the high immigration, which has caused the housing crisis that we have.
We also want to help more Australians live in their own home.
The electricity prices heading down the path of this climate change BS and the amount of money that's gone into that.
A great example of us providing cost of living relief.
Destroying our farming sector, you know, left, right and centre with the exports overseas, with the farming sector, with the, you know, transmission lines. All this is happening. So under the Labor Party, and it just continues on and on and on. And our educational system, the wokeness, gender diversity, just everything that's happening. It's disgusting. No, Peter Dutton, I back him all the way, and I hope he is the next Prime Minister of this nation.
She gets it. Peter Dutton.
Anthony Albanese is the worst wanker. Anthony Albanese is the worst pathetic, gutless Prime Minister I have ever known. Anthony Albanese is the worst bozo. Anthony Albanese cannot even run a chook raffle.
I don't just speak in controlled environments. I get out there and talk with people on the ground, in the supermarkets, across our shopping centres, in our main streets.
Clearly, he hasn't spoken to this woman.
What do you think of Anthony Albanese's tax cuts announced today?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Anthony Albanese is?
I don't watch the news.
He's the Prime Minister.
What?
Anthony Albanese is the worst nasty piece of work. Anthony Albanese is the worst gutless wonder. He shows no compassion for what's happening in this country. Anthony Albanese is the worst leader. He absolutely disgusts me. Anthony Albanese is a disgrace.
I've looked at newspapers and seen comments people have made, but I've talked with people directly, and what I've heard is that
Anthony Albanese is the worst
Bloody Prime Minister!
Anthony Albanese is an absolute scam. Anthony Albanese sickens me. Anthony Albanese is
the son of a single mum.
Anthony Albanese goes on about how hard he had it in the House Commission House. Oh, give me a break. We're crocodile tears as far as I'm concerned. He's never had a real job. He's been at university, he's worked in politics all his life. He's never gone without. If anyone went without, it probably was his mother that went without. So I have no pity for him whatsoever, and it's been just an excuse that he uses to get the sympathy from the general public. Anthony Albanese is not in the best interest of this country or the Australian people. Anthony Albanese is the worst
Serious car accident.
Anthony Albanese is slapping those men and women in the face that have fought for our freedom, and most importantly, our freedom of speech.
The truth, what Labor governments do.
Anthony Albanese is the worst joke. Anthony Albanese, if you are caught ripping off the taxpayers, you will be charged with a criminal offence. Anthony Albanese is the worst
Man-child.
Anthony Albanese, he is so weak. Anthony Albanese is the worst
Hypocrite.
Anthony Albanese is
An example that this government just isn't up to it, and we need a better government.
Anthony Albanese is
Truly an inspiration that such an unremarkable person could become Prime Minister. Thank you for being a part of This Is Apparently Your Life.
Well, thanks very much, Reece. I'll have to come back.
Oh, fine. Well, if you're going to come, you better fill me up.
Whenever the election comes, it can't come soon enough. We have to get rid of this Albanese government.
Anthony Albanese is the worst Prime Minister we have ever had. This Prime Minister that we have, I am so frustrated with him, as the majority of Australians are. He is weak, he is gutless, and I hope that people throw him out at the next election.